Alright, perfect. Let's get to it. Yo, what's up? What's up? You know this dude? Yeah, let's get into it. Start right away. Yes. Looks like yes was some good price action last week. Oh, we got right to the mid mark. That's crazy. Imagine being bearish on this whole weeks. Last four weeks. See, keep going higher and higher. Definitely opportunities though. So we have built a base inside the supply zone on the weekly too. That's interesting. Alright, save this. Let's get into the daily. Yeah, we hit the mid mark. Halfway there. Did we reject right at the top? Yeah, we did. Oh, we broke above. That's interesting. Oh, this is going to be an interesting week. Yep, I just switched the colors right now. I'm going to treat it like a demand. They're stepping up. It looks like we rejected. Let me get my zones above. Prepared for this week. Gotta get prepared for this week. If we do break back out fully. I'm just gonna mark this, but I bet you we see it on the hourly. $43.86. That's also the top of that weekly zone. So that'll be interesting if we want to go visit the top of the weekly supply zone. We'd still technically be in a supply zone, but don't want to just be buying puts. That's interesting. We got that nice wick, and it closed within the zone, so it'll be a tricky. Definitely don't want to just jump into calls right away. I could see him probably if this ever loads. Hate these advanced charts for this. But if you guys can see, like we got this touch, this touch. This is the only retracement we got to the bottom of the daily zone. So it wouldn't be shocking if we got some crazy price action holding here and then shoot up. I don't care which way we go, just give us something. But this is obviously a break. We were holding above it for a few hours. Looking on the hourly, do get that zone there. Yeah, orb strategies are not something that's to be trusted as much in this market conditions. They're more the liquidity traps. So usually when we break above, like say here, broke above, people probably anticipated a move all the way up, and we got rejected back down. This zone I'm definitely gonna be looking at. Probably gonna shade it dark. This is gonna be definitely a zone I pay attention to this week. With the resistance touch here. Yeah. I'm with you, Busty. The only zones right now. I want to see how this. I'm gonna go into SPY right now. Fibs is good. Just don't use it by itself. Have your other confluences. It does line up with other things. That is actually where I want to end this one. And then get into SPY. Whoa, we're right at the top of the weekly zone. We rejected the top perfectly. Wow. Which was a very good spot to be testing puts. So the top of the zone gave us last time pretty significant drop, and then we came back, slowly been eating up the orders here. We got to the final. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a bigger reaction, kind of a trend move back down a little bit, just because of how strong this top of the zone was. But I do expect us to eventually break out. But it will give us a break of here this time around. Will definitely give us a good price action up. Definitely that'll be the target for if we break the weekly zone. Doesn't mean we get there in 1 week. As you can see, these are weekly candles. This can be sometime before fall. Could be 2 months, 1 month. Because yeah, this was from March to June, just from that retracement period. So if it does retrace to get back up here, it can easily be a couple months as well, 3 months. So don't just jump into calls, especially if you're doing options. Equity, I don't mind if you would to play that way. If you want to buy some shares, if once we break here, looking for that $30-40 on SPY. But breaking above here definitely will be very interesting to see the market conditions then. So you guys, I do just make my weekly zones just to give me a sense. But then I don't trade dependent on the weekly zones. I do like my 0-day expiration option contracts, so it's kind of hard to trade on the weekly time frame with those. So I use mostly daily and hourly to make my levels that I use to trade intraday. Again, that area that did give us that rejection. It's got a long ways to retrace if we do retrace. First thing I would look to see a retrace would be the bottom of the zone, 428.5, which it did actually retrace there. We'll see it more on the hourly. It didn't retrace fully to the bottom of the zone, but it held up, so got pretty close, and we went back up halfway. You are correct, Z. If we get a pause rate, we could probably get a good breakout. So SPY, my zones between the dailies are pretty large. You guys noticed on ES we weren't at the top of that bear market rally. There is a little bit of a difference. That one I believe went up to 4,400. But for SPY we are at that top of that bear market rally that we had in August. There's a pretty big gap here. I'm also gonna have hourly zones in between this. Right off the bat. That's an area I was targeting to get a retracement back to. We never got there. As you can see, we held this area up here. So we never got quite a full retracement back to the bottom of the zone. Got pretty close, 428.8, about 30 cents off. And then we got that move back up. It's funny how they ended us right in the middle there. So we got some levels here. Some key levels, 429.6. 430.9. I think that's the zones, that's the battlefield I'm going to be playing with. Below here, risk reward probably would be into calls. Because the way I play these zones, whatever side of the zone we're in, yes, we are in a supply zone, so puts overall, but I know I can cut my calls here. Compared to puts, we could probably grind slowly up and then reject up here once you sell your contracts. So you don't want to have that regret. So you want to have an easier place where you can minimize your loss. Obviously, don't just get into calls right here. I'll probably potentially wait for lower the lower we get to the bottom of the zone to enter calls. If CPI comes in good full port, never full port, but if you have a full port account, full port. So that is the levels I'm looking at on the hourly. It's gonna be a lot of games played right around between, if we do break below 428.5 to 426.9. I am gonna watch this level inside here. Above here, puts would have a higher, better risk reward. Yeah, I'm just gonna look right now. So this reaction here, I believe, was more caused because of ES. ES lined up much better. Because if you look on here on SPY, there wasn't much resistance above this zone. Like we had some price action here, but to warrant that kind of rejection, definitely not not that strong. So that was definitely more ES level driven rejection. This is the first zone I'm going to be looking at. Chose this level because it is the more recent price action from the last time we traded up at this price range. I always try to find the more recent price action at a certain price, spot price. You can see how this did hold as a demand before. Even last chance, and then we got that kill candle below it. Came back, retraced it. So it will be an area where there is potentially some orders left up there. So we will definitely try to align ourselves in some calls if we do get the break of that zone. And we know where we should see some resistance, places to trim our calls. Definitely going to be paying attention to this zone right here. I don't blame you. We're right at that level where it was safer for calls, especially if you got them right at the bottom here to swing. So let's look at QQQ. Actually, let's go SPX. So my price target was 430, 435.3. But not to say actually there should be a resistance level. I have to say my resistance level. So that's my next zone target. But obviously we trim before there. Definitely here. Or 32.65. Yeah, I'll trim there and then target. Yeah, I don't want to create this whole zone because it seems like as we came, they formed this base area, but it definitely here we might see a potential reaction there. 432.65 gives us a good dollar trim before we've seen any real reaction to that level. Yeah, definitely good. Position heavier, trim at 432.65. Let the runners run. Final price target will definitely be up there. Then we realign and wait for either rejection back out to come back to test the zone again, or we break above where we can add some more calls to our position. Let's get into SPX. On the weekly, same. Oh, that's interesting. Broke above on the weekly. On SPX. Oh, we got right to the top. Wow, such a big demand zone. 40.55. That'd be insane if we come back there. The high of that day was 4322. Oh wow. So yeah, we did not break the zone. Got pretty close at the top of the zone. Did we do the whole bottom to the zone, top of the zone? Wow. So for SPX, I more have like levels. There are areas I do make zones, but around these gaps, I treat them more as strength and resistance, or strength or weakness levels. And I use it as a confluence. If we're above and trading above a certain level on SPX, on top of that, we're above a level on ES, and that helps. What's up, Igor? I think I can update this level finally. If we break above 43.25, that will be interesting. 43.70. I'm going to the hourly for these now. Oh, it's nice of them. They gave us a good level to watch. 43.11. 43.12. Push up to 43.25. I like that. If you guys can see why I'm making this level, usually I draw my zones like this. Top of the wick, opening at the previous bullish candle. or if it's the same candle, right to the opening print. Instead of using the top inside these daily or hourly zones, I just mark off the opening part. Well, that's what I was saying. We could get a retracement down to the bottom of the zones. If they do buy up all the vol, get a nice retracement back down and then see what they want to do there. So like I wouldn't rule out this coming back down, coming into 42.68 where they held for a bit. If they do break that, I'm looking at that 42.28 level. And things can get spicy if they want to go all the way back down to 41.32. Yeah, 42.61 bounce right here would be insane. Good R&R. These are my levels for SPX. I don't see much room. I don't see much resistance above 43.25 though. If we do break above it, I'm just looking at the last time we were here. Well, yeah, we do get this resistance right here. Actually, no, that's, yeah, 43.46. That's actually a great level. Yep, 43.46 above 43.25. Still 25 points. If you guys do trade SPX, you know what 25 points does. Makes us a lot of money. And below 42.61, definitely. I'm also gonna mark the bottom of this. 42.43. An area to watch. So again, SPX I do use, but I also use it with confluences, so I don't just solely enter a position just using SPX. Try to use all the tools that we have. And let's get into QQQ. On SPX. Oh, you mean the top of this candle here? Well, I'm not using the wicks as much. I use kind of more of the body of the candle. Even if I was to use the top of the wick, still it's at 42.32, which actually I remember that level being very important with Greeks, second order Greeks, and some gamma levels when we were trading up that high or down that low. Actually, I like that one way better. Just the way that it was respected a lot more. Again, I'm going to be using ES a lot in confluence with that. With these levels, They're more for strength and weakness levels for me. Not exactly like I will definitely use probably the bottom of this zone as an entry. The bottom of this zone, 4290. You guys probably have seen it on SPX a lot. It causes us a lot of either strength or weakness in those movements. Just use all the tools you guys have to give yourselves the best chance to get a winning trade. QQQ. Our star ETF. Been driving the market. And it finally, did it finally get to weekly supply? Finally did. I've been, if you guys have watched my other recent weekly prep videos, I've been talking about QQQ needing to go tap this area, and we finally got there last week. Oh, not quite. Still a little short. Could give us that last push. But it's past its August rally. And now we're into its April rally, so you can see how much further ahead QQQ is with all the major mega caps hitting all-time highs. So it's not surprising that they're a lot further ahead. This is, if you guys are new to option trading or the market, this was our all-time high area. So you can see how close we are if we do break this zone. Only would take Apple to go back to all-time highs. Apple, buy and forget about it. Write options against it. Keep bloating it up. That is my thought on Apple. Apple is America. Betting against Apple is betting against US. It's almost saying like they weren't going to raise the debt ceiling. So definitely never underestimate Apple. That is pretty clean chart. That's a clean chart. See, this is why I do think we do get some potential movement up. We're too close to this zone. There's some orders sitting here. You can see as we've been tracking up on QQQ. It's a dangerous game shorting QQQ or NQ with the strength it has. No, I don't, but I might take a request from you guys, whoever wants to do needs an individual stock charted before I finish. Yeah, I don't see how we don't grind up a little bit more. Yep, I'm with you. Apple has strength. QQQ doesn't even have a real demand zone to me. It's making little tiny demand zones, but you can see the trend never broke. Like, the last time I could see a trend breaking, maybe here. We got that small little movement here, but after that, not sure where else to make a zone on the daily for QQQ. There'll be small retracement areas, but not much of a real trend change. This thing has just been grinding up every day. Do I think it retraces 50 points? No. Definitely gonna have to use the hourly to find levels. Because on the daily, it looks like it's just gonna keep going. Got this previous top. Definitely can mark out. As you can see how that one played out as a retracement, and we got that bounce. So yeah, let's get into the hourly. Not much I see on the daily there. Hourly should give us some good entries. If you guys do trade QQQ, I just use it for confluence. Gotta double check something. This one's a tough one. Not sure if that's considered a real break here. I don't know if I would. Did close above on the 5 minute. So close, it instantly came right back on Friday as well. I think I'm gonna want to see at least another candle close above. But seeing that the daily zone is right up here, I won't be surprised. So levels of support and resistance. $352 looks good. That bounce. Such a small range that day. It's a lot of room. See, these areas where it consolidates, I do look for the highs and lows of them. Mark them as strength or weakness areas if we're above or below trading. $352 is a key area. Not sure I'd call this a zone. I'll be more interested if we're in this zone, or this zone. I don't trade QQQ, so I just use it kind of as a gauge. If say SPY is now breaking above its zone, and this is now breaking above, gives me a good confluence that now QQQ will help support also SPY moving up. because then most likely we can go back up and finally get into our supplies, daily supply zone up there. Their levels above here. Oh man, I have to check for a while. Last time QQQ was up this high. Yeah, right here. Oh, this is a good hourly zone actually. $358. So those are my hourlies. So we do have another zone. QQQ does have to get through to get up to its weekly supply zone or daily supply zone, which also would be the weekly. We do trade QQQ. Want to be patient. I'm not sure if we're gonna break down QQQ. Not yet. I think maybe up here we can definitely get a strong reaction, but to just break down right from here, we do have a lot of news, so news does help it. We'll see if we align ourselves up here before J-Powell. If we align ourselves here or here before J-Powell, I'm a firm believer they push us into zones knowing what the news is going to be released. So I won't be surprised if they do push us down here for FOMC and we get a rate pause or whatever it is that helps us push up. But if we do stay up here, unless we break above this zone here, I think we'll get a good rejection for J-Powell. But J-Powell is not until Wednesday, so it'll be interesting to see. That's why I said having us right where we are next week will be, I think we get great price action before even J-Powell, because they gotta, they don't have to do anything, but it's rare to see them just hold us right in between a key daily zone or weekly zone. Unless we get a J-Powell move where they keep us flat right here, and then we get that rate decision, we get an up move, down move, and then finish flat, which I won't be mad about that either. Usually they like to align themselves in a zone before the news data comes out. So went over ES by QQQ, SPX. Any tickers you guys want to look at? Appreciate you guys jumping in. Should be a good week. Lots of money to be made, guys. Especially if you set up, wait for your, stay patient, wait for your setups. Definitely should have some great price action. Tesla? Yeah, we could do Tesla before I go. Okay, let's do Tesla. I haven't played a single stock for quite some time right now. Been stuck on SPX options, but I do chart them time to time just to keep myself fresh and kind of see where the general market is moving, just with the mega caps only. Let's look at it on the weekly. So same thing that I do with, if I was to play Tesla on a longer time frame, I'd say we got room. So this is on the weekly time frame. These are the areas I'd target. You guys can see why I marked this on the weekly. It was a previous demand, but once it broke below, it's got a gap on it too. That's interesting. That is definitely a break of a zone. Wow, what a great week that was, even on higher volume. Congrats to everybody who played Tesla last week. Wow. That's insane. Looks like that gap is target. I don't like individual stocks, but I might play Tesla this week. Retrace back into the zone. Even to just front run it a bit. You never want to be the guy that holds it all the way to the end of the gap. Front run it just a little bit. Yeah, I don't blame you, Brosty. That's exactly what I was saying. I don't usually play individual stocks, but I might keep Tesla on my quote monitor now. It's kind of sad because I did buy Tesla here and I sold it as an equity play, but we move on. So a retracement bounce level on Tesla here would be definitely this high. Um, this was the last time we had Tesla here. So this is the gap. They even push the orders down. You can see here how these orders are unfilled. So yeah, we get that next rejection here. So I'd watch this level here, this zone on the hourly. $257.5 has to break for that gap to have a chance. It lines up perfectly with the hourly to our daily zone. So it's definitely an area you want to watch. 249. Looks like that will be the next. It breaks Friday's previous high. Fridays. 249 will be the next level. Oh well, actually we got a rejection there. So yeah, above 249 you can 250. Target 255. Retrace. Just seeing how this candle exploded right here on the zone break. I could see us getting some type of reaction right at 237.4 touch. And then probably head down a little lower. If price enters here for FOMC, that'll be interesting. I'll watch that too. Probably get a good move from here to at least here. That's Tesla. Here, let me save this. Thanks for that, Brosty. I'll keep an eye on Tesla now. Let's look at Apple quickly before I go as well. Apple went for it. 1 week, did both the top and bottom of the zone. I am definitely going to say this is a support zone, demand zone for me. Whew. Can't even find I don't really have a weekly demand level lower than this one. That was a strong rejection. Died out very quickly. Even lower volume bounce. So Apple will be interesting to see coming into the week. At least Apple is nice enough to give us a new supply zone on the hourly. Since we have no levels up here. So again, guys, somebody asked me last week, what do you do with, how do you play supply and demand if you're at all-time highs? You just have demand zones. That's it. Um, you try to take positions if price comes back down. Well, honestly, that's pretty much it. Before, when we were hitting all-time highs in 2020, 2021, I was just playing calls. I don't think that was actually a bad strategy. Yeah, maybe fibs, maybe something like that. But honestly, you can not chase, wait for it to retrace into a demand zone, take a position there. If it breaks below, you know you could take puts. How do you have a win? What does that mean? Okay. But like I was saying, for all-time high stocks, it's you chase or you wait. That's simple as that. There is no recent previous price action you can account for. If anyone says they know how to trade all-time high stocks, I don't know if you want to trust them as much. It's kind of hard to trade all-time high stocks. You won't find a real resistance levels. Um, Resistance get created. No problem. How fast to make $1 million? That will be the question of how fast. Same answer as how fast you want to blow your account. Pretty much goes hand in hand. How fast do you want to make 1 million, and how fast do you want to blow an account? If you're okay with the answers on the blowing account, you're in a good spot then. I would say YOLO for the shortest amount of time. Get lucky. Not much else. This is more of a compounding game, long term. Looking for base hits. Yeah, this will be recorded. I went through all the major tickers I watched for the week. Actually, I'm gonna now, since I did the zones, I never went through what I'm expecting, or not what I'm expecting, or just the scenarios, what to do. So above 431.73 this time, I'm looking at 432 as a trim level, targeting 435. Break below 428.5, we get 426.94. This will be another area I'm looking at now to bounce, where we based and bounced off 426.31. Below 425.8 here, that should give us a good move to 423. So those are my levels I'm watching on SPY. Right here, this is no. So if we open up tomorrow right here, pre-market, I will stay patient. Down here, I am going to be looking to take calls, and below 428.5, I am cutting my calls, and that's when I'll start playing the downside. Probably wait for a retest, and then get that move down to 426.9. And then stay patient for a bounce. You could test it at top of the zone. Just seeing how we traded here and consolidated almost two pre-markets. I'd definitely stay patient and wait for either. Yeah, 426.3 will be the level I'll be looking at, and if SPX is trading at the same time around, if our SPX is down here at the same time, actually I'm gonna mark this level on SPX as well. It should be trading around 4265.66. So if we have 4265 trading on SPX and SPY is around 426.31, that confluence, I will start a call position down there against my put runners. So I'll definitely try to be in puts with a break and retest of 428.5 if we do find weakness here. But before that, I'm in calls at the bottom zone here. Up here, I'm in puts with the rejection of 431.73. I'm hoping if we don't get that, obviously, we just realign, cut our positions, and now we look for the retest and bounce. Most likely we'll get that rejection off of 432.65, come back down, and we can see something like that happen where we go up here, come back down, and then we can make our move up. But if you just want to align yourself and wait to see how either one of these edges of the zones play out, you could do that and then take your position, have your stops at the top or at the bottom of the zone, targeting this level and this level. So that is what I'm looking at on SPY for this week. We do got FOMC, so I won't be. If we do ever come back, say we do get in here and then it stalls in here, do not take new positions in this area. This is looking like a prime condor area. Just the way it's setting up, this could be an area where they will theta burn a lot of contracts. And then definitely you want to take a position between this area and this area. Most likely you get a better price action in between those levels. But again, got a great week coming up. I'm hoping we get some nice price action. Doesn't matter which direction. We played the zones. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll have this posted later. Actually, it should be posted right away. You guys enjoy your Sunday, and let's make lots of money this week. Appreciate you guys. Peace.